testimonial I've gotten a month, so thanks very much for that. Now, I'm going to start a brand new feature in these. We're going to hit the charts in just a minute. For example, our S&P's been strong. One of the things that I want you to start looking for is emergent strength, or increasing whole real bodies of candles at the upper right side of the chart. So I want to see if the S&P is able to take out not just the 1760 on a continuation play next week, but much higher. And we're going to look at some specific triggers for that, as well as our best trending charts and some of the best instruments out there to work with as well. But first, let's do a little business. I've got a brand new webinar coming up for you guys at swingtradingsuccess.com. And for today only, I'm going to do this. This is going to be a new feature. I'm going to have a new coupon code every single Saturday. It's only good for that Saturday. So in the spirit of Halloween, the coupon code for this one is the word boo. So what I want you to do, go to Swing Trading Success. You can see examples of some of the real trades I've made. This is a webinar that's coming up on November 7th. That's a week from Halloween evening. So a week from this Thursday. So almost 2 weeks from now. A week from Thursday. And it's an hour and a half long. And what you do is click on register your spot now. And what I want you to do is then type in boo, click apply. I'm sorry. Okay, and there it is. Okay, that I had previously tested it for you guys. Anyway, that brings the price down to 77 bucks. And so, yeah, there you go. So it'll be 77, and check out that code though. The boo code is only good for today only. And each Saturday, I'm going to have a new offer. And I'm not going to email it to my list. The only way to get it is to be here live with me in person. So that's another feature that we've added to our Trading Week Ahead events. I'll have a very quick special and a coupon that's good for that day only. So that's another way to get involved with me and do so at a very cheap price. You can break out patterns to use, trade management, entry and exit strategies, often with examples of, featuring examples of real trades I've done and walking you through how that works, right? Especially good to start off with small size trades. Don't be out there doing 1,000 share, 500 share, or 10 lot, or 5 contract, or 6 contract trades. Start off small and then start to scale up from there. So anyway, that is this week's special, and I thought I'd put together kind of a neat discount code there. So Swing Trading Success, an hour and a half with me, and that does include Q&A and the rest of it in the webinar event. And so the code is just boo. So I thought that would be fun. If you have any questions about my courses, post them at Swing Trading University. Let me walk you guys through how that works here. The site's still in development. Thanks to everybody who's been registering. What I want you to do is go to Swing Trading University, and you guys can follow along and do this right now, and then we'll hit our charts. My brand new site, register free. And there's going to be a permanent free area inside. Show what a huge audience of great traders I have. So if you guys would, it's on the front of my site at daytradinguniversity.com. But if you want to, we'll get to the charts momentarily. Just a lot of changes in our formatting here because of the growth, this tremendous growth. And thank you very much for being here. Appreciate that. Make sure I'm in frame here for the webinar broadcast. Anyway, see me live in Vegas. Coming up, I'll be speaking there Friday morning at the Money Show Traders Expo live at Caesar's Palace. So you're all welcome to join me and ask questions at the end. Stick around. I always get dozens of traders ask questions. I get standing room only events. It's great to see traders cheer out loud at my events when I do that was the last time I spoke at Caesar's, was a couple of years back from Money Show. So be sure to show up. Hey, also, my live Las Vegas seminars coming up. The first one I've done in 3 years with my colleague Peter Bain. And even if you're not a Forex trader, this is you can still learn plenty. You can use 31st. So it's only $625 for 2 whole days with me and Peter. And we've done over 1,800 bucks in bonuses. We've got coaching individual phone calls with me and Peter. 30 minutes with me personally, just you and me on the phone, and you and Peter Bain at our mutual convenience. We'll schedule time after the event. So that's included as bonuses, plus all of the webinars that Peter and I have done over the last couple of years, high resolution downloads. So we've got over 1,800 worth of bonuses. It's worth getting for that alone. And you've seen my testimonials and the rest of it. So for those of you who have joined me already and those of you who've registered, welcome aboard. And those of you who have not yet done so, now would be a good time to get on board with that. Okay, our trading strategy of the week we're going to look at is stair-step cup entries. We're going to cover that in a minute, but first, let's take a look at what's going on in the markets. Okay, our S&P, I want you to use R1 1774. Okay, be conservative because we're at new highs, and it's a level at which you get a lot of institutional guys who will sucker traders in because it looks like it's new highs and then step on the ask and drive the thing back down, and everybody's caught with their, like a deer in the headlight, not knowing what to do when the market sells. So we are still in an uptrend continuation. One of my favorite candlestick patterns is to look for a sequence of two increasing whole real body emergent candles. We didn't have any bullish engulfing or hammers down here, but we did have my signal, which is two green candles of which whole real body, make sure I got this in frame here, whole real bodies get larger, and I teach my traders how to do that in the live room. Anyway, that moved up really nicely. What we're seeing now though is smaller whole real bodies, telling me buyers are getting maybe a bit tired up here, so it's still a long market. But I'd be a little conservative. 1774 and 1785. Be more conservative on buying new highs in our current market. S1 is obviously 1735, right under the tail of this candle here, 1735. And you can see a bullish hammer breakout. So 1715 would be S2. Okay, so S1, 1735, S2, 1715. R1, let's use 1774, and R2, 1785. Okay, always trade markets first. Now, I don't know how many of you have been trading successfully lately. You know, I've been trading things like was it Apollo, for whom I used to teach, University of Phoenix years ago. Anyway, nice gap breakout, runaway continuation. There's a lot of good charts out there that you want to be on top of, and let's take a look at those right now. My swing trading picks of the week. You've all been waiting for this. Are as follows. American Express is expressing new highs as it has a double gap continuation pattern. I always like to buy new gap continuations. On the daily, you can see a nice whole real body candle. Now this is one of my favorite patterns, by the way. You've got a large whole real body momentum candlestick at the right side of a bullish cup pattern. So you see a bull cup, a large candle. Odds are you missed that. That's okay. You buy new highs, say 35 to 50 cents above that momentum cup. Okay, and that's really good for swing trades. You saw we got another big cup or another big momentum candle yesterday in AXP. So we'll see if that's able to continue on in next week as well. BHI, this is one I'm long in right now myself. You can see we have a gap up continuation. I was trading this one last week, and you can see it's taken out a sequence of new cup continuation highs. What I like about BHI is, if you look on the daily chart, you can see this kind of a stair-step hodgepodge. We had a bearish upper shadow here following the window up, but then that was subsequently overcome by, and always look for these overcoming long patterns is what I call them. If you have a shooting star, okay, it's a shooting star, or this bearish upper shadows, look for a bullish cup continuation and buy not at the exact high, but maybe 50 cents or so above. And that usually works out well. You can see a nice breakout continuation runner in BHI. We've got 3 more swing trading picks, and we'll look at day trading picks, gaps, ETFs, E-minis, and then Forex. Reader's Digest note, the cliff notes on the Reader's Digest version, the euro is really strong. So we're going to look at some patterns for my Forex traders. I'm long the euro myself right now. Coming up shortly, to be continued. Let's take a look next. Hain. Really nice uptrend continuation pattern. Remember guys, ladies and gentlemen, use a 15-day high continuation breakout pattern with cups, and make sure that you're using candlesticks professionally the right way, as taught exclusively by Steve Nissen, the only person worth learning candles from. Notice that we have a previous resistance area at 85.50. So where would you guys go long? Rhetorical question, since you can no longer post. Anyway, but where would you go long? Well, at least 50 cents above that 90-day high. So what you don't want to do is buy the suckers breakout, which would be right at the high, say right at 85 or something, because that's likely to run into overhead resistance at this shooting star previous high shadow. I mean, all professional traders, we're all looking at this, right? We look at these charts. So I'm not going to buy it right under, but I will buy over it, especially if I have a high volume breakout continuation. So keep an eye on HAIN, but only if it's able to take out 90-day new highs. Now, thanks so much to all of you for being here. Let's see if, I'm wondering if we're going to get over 2,400 registered today. I'm up to 2,396. That's got to be some kind of record for the trading industry, or at least one of the top turnouts. Especially impressive because I didn't have to get 300 people all cross-promoting for me. So thank you guys for making this the most successful and one of the best long-running, over a year and a half now, and initially back in the year 2001 I started doing these Saturday events. So thanks for making these a success. You're in the right place. Okay, now the airlines have been really strong lately. And Southwest, ticker LOVE, heart, love, you got to love this chart, right? We got a 15 up to 17. We got a two-stick run. Wall Street talk we call point sticks. You got a two-stick run in LUV. If you take a look at the daily chart, it's all full steam ahead, right? We got a nice breakout continuation. We have a sequence. Remember, we're looking for these wide range candles as a momentum indicator and the new high price action for continuation plays in our swings. So the tip is keep an eye on all the airlines, okay, next week coming up, whether it's United or Delta or Alaska is good too, Alaska Airlines. But LUV is one of the best ones, so keep an eye on that one. Great uptrend continuation chart. Last but not least on our swing longs for stock traders is PKG, Packaging Corp America. You can see this has gone from 56 all the way up to 62 in a nice uptrend continuation. We drop down to our daily candlestick chart. You can see we are, in fact, at the emergent high breakout place of a cup pattern on a 90-day high. So again, good professional traders, we specialize in trading the upper right side of the chart. That's where I play. That's where I do my business, right? I can't get paid unless I say buy at 63 and sell to someone else at 65. That's how I trade. Is I buy upper right side of charts. I'm a professional breakout guy. So anyway, this one did take out new 90-day highs, and it's above all three moving average lines. We have a nice clean, unbroken, uncrossed 50, 100, and 200 MA line. So price action looks good. The only failing indicator is what? We don't have convincing high volume. Look at that. Oops, we don't have high volume. So in this one, what I want you guys to do is wait until the volume's at least over 1.5 million. Again, this is not a trading recommendation for paper trading use only. You guys know how well you would have done had you actually traded my alerts, but that's another story. Anyway, 1.5 million shares is the minimum volume criteria I want you to use if this takes out, say, 63.50 or so moving forward. So keep an eye on that one. I'm going to be a little cautious right here because the volume is not convincing at new highs. Always look for reasons not to trade, right? Of all the thousands of traders I've taught over the years, the number one problem is you guys overtrade choppy charts and then you take two big stops, and that's a recipe for disaster. What you need to do is cautiously, on small size, trade the very best charts and then scale into or position size into the ones that are best. It's really important that you get the difference between that type of approach. And at least I know in all the thousands of trades I've done over the years since the 90s, the best ones are always going to be the ones on the cleanest breakout or gap continuation runs on good price action entries. You don't need a lot of derivative technical indicators. ADX and the major moving averages are plenty sufficient for a good swing trader. Okay, for day trades, let's take a look at Lowe's. Our home builder, if we look at Home Depot, also good, right? LOW, as goes one, so does the other. Always important to intelligently, instantly know how to correlate or sector trade instruments within the strongest sectors. Anyway, Lowe's looks good for day trading. What you're looking for in day trades, Fridays are usually not great days for intraday trading. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are. That's why I run my live room on those days, because that's the days in which I can get the highest percentage of winning alerts for my guys. So anyway, you got a cup pattern breakout continuation in Lowe's on Thursday. Look for similar opening range breakout patterns next week. And we're looking for moves of at least 30 to 70 cents in a single run during the first opening hour and focus in on those types of charts. So Lowe's and Home Depot, a couple of good ones. They had good breakouts. The other one for intraday that I like, this one had an exceptionally good Thursday and Friday. Short Thursday, long Friday. You can see bonus points. Name that chart pattern. That is a survey says the initials are AT. Hint. What's that pattern? It's an ascending triangle, okay? So anytime you see an ascending triangle breakout, boom, flawless victory. You can see this thing ran up a full point. I love minor gap continuations. That's how I trade. I've traded millions of dollars worth of stocks, ETFs, Forex, minis, and the rest of it. You see proof on my Trading Talk forum of a lot of the trades I've made. I'm a real trader and not one of these vendors who doesn't trade. Anyway, minor gap continuations, those are the money shots, and those are the best of the trade setups out there. Always be looking for, it doesn't have to be a gap above previous day's high, even inside range minor gaps are very powerful, very good technique. So what you're looking at doing, even if you get screwed on a quick false breakout, the technical term there, right? I like to keep it real, real thing, right? Authentic. Authenticity is really important. For more, read a good book called Leadership Jazz on authenticity. That's where I got that value from back when I was working at Ford Motor Company in Dearborn, in the electronics division. And product development process team, we're looking at quality improvement. As a statistician, quality engineer, vehicle build timing. Anyway, back in my corporate life, my point is look for these open range breakouts, but look for minor gaps to continue as the signature play for the best trade setups for both intraday and swing trades. You have my word, those are the very best. And I teach you guys how to do that at Trading the Open and at Day Trading University. Oh, outdated, stupid, level 2, total view, welcome to 1999, outdated things that nobody uses with rare exception anymore, unless you're scalping thousands of shares and you're trying to get 3 cents price improvement on a fill to order routes, say Instinet or Arca or one of the others. For most of us, if you're trading a few hundred shares, all you need is a 1-minute candlestick charts and time and sales for tape reading on your breakouts. And I teach traders how to use the tape and how to use 1-minute candles in our live room. Anyway, back to our charts. What's moving on? Gaps. The best gaps. We've had a lot of gaps lately. Okay, a lot of relative strength in our ETFs and energy, in our solars, First Solar, Solar City, Canadian Solar's been strong in equities. What I like about gaps lately is the strength of the momentum. I'm long Apollo right now, and one of the reasons is it's going up. I buy things that go up. That's what I do. I sell things that go down. I buy things that go up. And it just means, call me crazy, but hey, I like to make money when I trade. And so I can only make money by buying here and selling there, right? Or selling here and shorting here and covering down there. Either way, it's all about money flow. Anyway, Apollo, a good gap up continuation. Next up, Cliff's Resources. This one has a sequence of gap continuation runs, right? Every time, almost every time, there was a gap fade. Okay, there's one time out of 6, it didn't do a gap continuation. You can see yesterday's chart. Gaps continue most of the time. So anyway, some of these morons out there saying, fade the gap. Gaps fade 80%. No, gaps continue most of the time. Ask any professional Wall Street traders. You know, my training has reached thousands of active traders, including some of the top guys out there, professional trading outfits, and we know that gaps continue. Anyway, CLF, keep an eye on that one. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time. Anyway, DEC, D-E-C-K, that's Decker's Outdoor. You can see it gapped from 58 up to 67. Okay, so that's a huge gap up, a 7-point gap. We'll see, actually that's 9-point gap. Yeah, 9-point gap up and continued up in yesterday's markets, right? Gaps continue most of the time. Keep an eye on DECK for the week ahead at new highs to continue if it takes out 50 cents above the nearest whole number. It's kind of a default for swing trading highs. Next up, let's take a look at Freeport, FCX, the ticker. Another really good gap continuation runner. You can see this one has done its initial cut pattern high. It's gone from 32 up to 37. So a nice 5-point run for a $30 stock is pretty good. Let's see if it's able to take out new highs over the 38 in the week ahead as well. Last but not least, Gapper, Symantec, having a struggle lately, right? A lot of sellers took it all the way down, did a half-hearted bounce, did my classic Calhoun 1, 2, 3 bounce. And again, for more on that, where's my article? How to trade mid-range 1, 2, 3 reversals. As a longtime author at equities.com, you can see I published this a week or so ago on October 18th. 1, 2, 3 patterns or something gaps up, pulls down around 50%, and then continues on up is a very popular pattern that I like to trade with, and you can see this happens often. 1, 2, 3. So anyway, keep an eye on SYMC for the week ahead as well. And by the way, for those of you just logging in, effective immediately, because I got over 2,300 people registered, simply don't have time, and I apologize, but I don't have time to be able to answer all the questions, or else I'd be here forever each morning. So you can, however, send in questions once you register at Swing Trading University about my courses and whatnot, and I'll answer the top 3 or so questions in the next week ahead. So ask the question anytime now or during the week, and the top questions, I can't answer all the hundreds of questions, but at least the top few questions I will answer in each Saturday's event. So you can register for free at Swing Trading University, and then once you log into the members area, there's a link to asking questions in each of these broadcast events. All right, let's move on. Let's see, our ETFs, DRN, which is the direction real estate, both of the real estate ETFs I like, the Ultra, the URE, and the DRN are good. What I like, here's another quick trading tip, is if you can buy a chart that gives you better leverage but identical chart pattern, especially when it comes to trading your ETFs, then go for that one. So for example, URE gives you the same pattern as DRN, but at almost half the price, right? It's 48 bucks, and the volume's even better in DRN. They're both real estate ETF instruments. Kind of like when I trade FAS, I prefer FAS versus SKF. Sorry, FA. Getting these anyway. You're looking at the finance ones. I don't trade the S when I trade FAS. Anyway, one's much more expensive than the other. And for example, in our ETFs for gold miners, there's NUGT, but there's also GDX, right? NUGT is 57 a share. It used to be a lot less, and they did a reverse split. Anyway, NUGT, that's the chart pattern you get. GDX is identical chart pattern, but it's half the price, or less than half the price. So look for those price improvements too, and leverage improvements. When it comes to actually trading for money, one of the things you want to do is make your dollars go as far as possible. So look for similar sector or similar instruments that have exactly the same chart pattern, because they are, say, an index tied or an ETF tied instrument, but gives you better leverage. Okay, that's another good professional tip. My competitors are all busy scribbling down so they can pretend they come up with it and copy it. I'm the most widely ripped off guy in the trading industry, in case you didn't know. Anyway, but one of my colleagues from CNBC said, you got to deal with it. That's part of the price of excellence, is you have all the copycats. Anyway, so that's a tip. ETFs for the week ahead, therefore, DRN, really good uptrend continuation for our real estate bulls. GDX, gold miners ETF, you can see this has continuous gap continuation runs. These 2 out of 3 of these did continuation plays. Keep an eye on GDX for the week ahead as well. And the last one is just simply playing the index. You know, say for example, instead of trading the Qs, for which, you know, it's 76 to 83, if you do QLD, you get 74 to 88. Okay, so that's like a 30% improvement in volatility by trading the Qs. This is just the leveraged. That's the ultra Qs, right? So instead of trading the Qs, I trade the QLD because it's got more points of range, more points of profit potential, because it's a wider range chart, right? 74 to 89, 15 points of range. Compare please with Q, same exact chart, 76 to 83, that's only a 7-point range. So that's half the range. So you get a much better range by trading the leveraged, if you know how to trade in the right way, than you do in the underlying. Okay, and the volume is just as good, or close to very high volume that's tradable. So anyway, that's it. Let's move on now to our E-minis, and then we'll take a look at our Forex charts. And by the way, too, just a reminder for those of you who are logging in here recently, I do have a special at Swing Trading Success. Use coupon code BOO. Good for today only. that will be disabled at midnight, so that won't be any good after today. Every Saturday, I'm going to have a new special on an upcoming webinar or recordings or something I've got going on, and I'll give you guys a good special, but I'm only going to reveal it here. I'm not going to send out an email with it. It's only for those of you who are here live with me, and it's only good for today. Okay, so that's a recommendation from one of my longtime colleagues, and a really good idea to, to get people on board at very cheap price. That's only 77 bucks with the coupon code. It's 97. Normally I do these at 150 or so, but I thought I would make something really cheap for all of you cheapskates out there who haven't bought anything yet, especially. This is a good way to get started. No, I'm sorry. Bad trader. My bad. Don't call people cheapskates. Freebie seeker. No, okay, don't call them moocher. No, don't call them that either. Call them valued customers. I'm kind of wealthy, so I don't really care, but anyway, for those of you who have not yet purchased training from me, I'm a real trader. You can get access. I can't believe you just said that. I like to keep it real, guys. Anyway, 70. That's why you say so many thousand traders like me. Hey, you can always count on me to be a straight shooter. That's something I used to like in production environment back at McDonnell Douglas and Ford Motor Companies. You go out on a plant floor, factory floor, you get straight talk from the union guys and the, our UPW and our union guys. I like that. I respect straight shooters. I like people who don't BS me. I like people who are honest. So I like to be honest with you guys. Anyway, so I'm a real trader. So I'm big on make sure you learn from people who actually can prove they're traders and not all these chart talking BS wannabes. Anyway, it's only 77 bucks when you use that coupon code BOO, and I use that because it's Halloween, so thought it'd kind of be funny there. So anyway, I like to be clever. Anyway, use the coupon code. So here's what you do. You go to, and I want all of you to do this. Follow along with me and do this right now. Go to Swing Trading Success. And see, I got so many thousands of people trust me because they give you real training that's actually really valuable at a very cheap price. So it's very good. I'm not out there charging thousands of dollars for stuff like these. And I'm a real trader, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. So thank you for being with me. I do appreciate it. All the loyalty. And for those of you who've been with me a long time, we're doing new strategies and updates to existing strategies and a step-by-step walkthrough. I'm not going to call it, it's a blueprint and blah, blah, blah like my competitors. Anyway, I'm going to give you guys the straight juice on how to swing trade stocks and ETFs. This is introduction through advanced, all compressed, the very best of my stuff in 90 minutes. So get an hour-and-a-half webinar with me a week from Thursday. It's coming up November 7th. Today only, if you enter that code, if you enter it tomorrow, no dice. It's not going to work. So today only, that code will be active. I'm going to take it down, disable it at midnight tonight. So it's not going to be any good after tonight. But for all day long, you guys can order as many as you want. No, just order one. Enter BOO, and that'll give you a $77 price, and then you can check out with PayPal or Visa or MasterCard. Okay, so you got my word. That's going to be good training, and I will answer questions and have the room open for Q&A during that. So that's Swing Trading Success, and this is for stock and ETF traders. This is not a Forex course. For Forex, make sure that you join me at Forex Live Profits with my colleague Peter Bain coming up in just a few weeks in Vegas, live at the MGM Grand, one of the best hotels in Vegas. It's a great party hotel. I play poker at the poker room. It's been moved around a lot this year, but the poker room at MGM is good. I know Tiffany and the managers and all that there. Anyway, I digress. MGM Grand is a great hotel, one of the biggest. I think it has more rooms than any hotel in Vegas. It's one of the biggest ones in the world, I think. Anyway, live at the MGM. All the candle patterns, they work. So make sure you learn those from Steve Nissen. And then learn from me on momentum trading. Anyway, triggers on our E-minis are as follows. I'm curious if we've broken 2,400 of you guys here. Nope, 2396. Okay, looks like we're not going to break 2,400 resistance, but it's still thousands more than most people get in their webinars, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, E-mini triggers. Let's use 1758.75. Okay, so it's 2 handles and 3 ticks or so above the current resistance is 1756. So 1758.75 for those of you who are e-mini traders. That's trigger 1 on resistance 1. Resistance 2, educational use only, is 1762.75. Okay, so that's 4 handles up, 1758 and 1762.75. Okay, so 3 ticks above each of those. For roll-offs, for sell-down triggers, I want to use 1746 and a quarter. It's been a a lot of price of the size of the candles. I look at price elasticity patterns. I dig into this stuff. I write it down so I have a note to myself, and then I read it off to you guys so you know what I came up with for you. Work my butt off for you guys. In 1738 and a quarter. Okay, I wanted to get under, and the reason for that is I just wanted to lose by at least a handle, by at least 4 to 6 ticks, that previous low. Okay, so 1746 and a quarter, and again 1738 and a quarter as the short triggers for the E-minis. For the ES, you can extrapolate that for the YM or the NQ or your other futures contracts, but for the ES, that's the granddaddy of them all. Those are the triggers to use the week ahead. All right, now one of my favorite parts of the morning is looking at this. I'm currently long. Let's see, I put on long trades this week in the Euro dollar, the Euro CAD, and the US dollar CAD, USD CAD. So those are the three I'm currently long in addition to that earlier Aussie dollar entry. Anyway, the best Forex charts for the week ahead are as follows, in my humble opinion. I like the Euro. Let's start off with the Euro CAD.
Okay, so there's our Euro CAD. It's got an inverse head and shoulders.
Go back and forth here. Okay, so there's our Euro CAD. It's got an inverse head and shoulders down here, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breakout to a cup, new high. This thing took off 141.2 up to the 1444, and you could see, although the ADX is declining a bit, we still have a really good uptrend continuation in our Euro CAD. So that's why I'm long the Euro CAD myself in my own IB account, and you can see why, right? This thing continues to move up to new highs. I'll be looking to scale into my open winning long if we take out new highs in the week ahead. So you guys might want to consider paper trading at least that as well. The other one is the Euro US dollar. It's one I'm also long in right now in my Interactive Brokers account, and I like this because of the uptrend continuation. Notice please we have the kind of a wonky inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If you have an uncertain head and inverse head and shoulders, you have a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. Just wait until you get to new high cut breakouts for continuation move up. Okay, so our Euro dollar, really good move up lately this last week or two, and I'm long this, and I'll be scaling in at new highs, likely over 138.50. I'm going to be a little skeptical at the high, so I'm going to wait just a bit to 138.5 for long continuations in the Euro dollar. And last but not least, US dollar to the Canadian dollar. This one is not as good. Who can tell me why? From a professional trader's price action breakout standpoint, why is that chart not as good as the Euro charts? Why is the dollar not so good against the Canadian dollar, the dollar CAD? I still got in long this one. Yeah, this is one of the three I got in long this past week. But the reason is because of all this suspiciously strong selling pressure we had earlier. Remember, buyers attract new buyers. Sellers spook buyers out and keep us away, right? And when you look on a professional chart like this, one of the things you look for is, say, a basing pattern that did an uptrend continuation with a nice 45-degree slope. Remember, that's my in stocks and ETFs, my favorites are minor gap continuations. In my Forex trades, I like looking at 2 and 3 day, like 45-degree angle cup continuation breakouts. Keep it simple and strong, right? That's all you need, right? You don't need to use a ton of oscillation. I like using ADX, but you do not need a ton of derivative indicators if you're a price action based trader like I am. So anyway, the Euro is strong. That's the Reader's Digest version for the week ahead. So anyway, until next week, learn the patterns, trade wisely, and go for bigger winners more often, right? Try and learn professional trading step by step with the mechanics of the market, and I will see you guys in next Saturday's broadcast. Trying to keep these on schedule to 30 minutes, so bear with me as I learn the ins and outs of doing that. You guys have been great. If you want to post questions, again, because I have so many of you here, I am no longer accepting questions live on Saturdays, though for those of you who pay and join my paid events, I do answer generously. I will stick around up to an hour and allow post and answer questions and the rest of it, because I have so many of you here, it wouldn't be fair of me to try and answer. I've been trying my best the last 6 months or so once we broke the 2,000 mark registered, but I simply don't. It'd take me an hour and a half to answer if there was a long list of 80 or 120 or whatever questions. So anyway, I ask for your help in doing that. Well, it's great to see the webinars working. I'm even going to play saxophone for you guys. Not today. I need to practice a little more person. Been working 18-hour days. I don't have time for the fun stuff. I play Roland D50, a Yamaha 62, and a Ibanez electric guitar. I like to play musical instruments to work on my timing skills and pattern recognition. I'm a classic jazz guy. I like Coltrane, Parker, Miles Davis, Cannonball, all the Paul Desmond, Take Five, all the rest. You can see some examples of real trades I've made, so you can see I'm an actual trader and all the rest of it. Some stops too. I mean, you know, don't just show the winners. I show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. I like to keep it real, right? Keep it honest. So anyway, register for that. It's only 77 bucks. A really good way for those of you who have not yet bought from me to graciously show your gratitude and be honest. I mean, again, you know, I just saw some news. Don't get me started about politics. My word, this one's worth doing. And if I've been of value to you in these events, this would be a good way to show me your appreciation is register for this.